In ancient Egypt, Pharaoh ruled with absolute power, declaring himself the highest authority over the land. Pharaoh feared losing his throne, as a prophecy warned that a child from Bani Israel would end his rule. To secure his power, Pharaoh issued a cruel decree against the households of Bani Israel. Under this terror, the Israelites lived in slavery, forced into hard labor under Pharaoh's cruelty.
At the same time, Allah prepared his plan, unseen by Pharaoh and beyond human control.
During this time of fear, a woman from Bani Israel was chosen to give birth to a child by Allah's will.
Allah inspired the child's mother with guidance, filling her heart with trust instead of fear. She was guided to place her child into a small chest and entrust him to the river by Allah's command.
With a heavy heart and firm faith, she released the chest into the flowing Nile.
Allah promised that the child would be returned to her and would one day become a messenger.
The chest floated along the Nile, carried safely by Allah's will, while Pharaoh remained unaware.
The chest reached a palace belonging to Pharaoh's family, where it was discovered by Pharaoh's wife. Moved by compassion, she took the chest inside and prepared it with care. Allah had ensured that the child would grow safely under the care of Pharaoh's household.
As the child grew, signs of wisdom and strength became evident to all around him. Bibi Asiya, Pharaoh's wife, cared for the child tenderly, unaware of the future Allah had planned for him.
The child grew strong and wise, showing signs of leadership and divine guidance.
As Pharaoh continued in his arrogance, Allah prepared the young child to become a messenger. Allah's plan moved quietly, unseen by Pharaoh, yet every event unfolded according to divine wisdom.
The child was nurtured with faith and wisdom, destined to lead his people in the future. As the child matured, his intelligence and courage became apparent to those around him. People began to notice his wisdom, and his guidance inspired hope quietly among the Israelites. Pharaoh remained arrogant, unaware that the child would one day challenge his tyranny. Every action in the palace moved according to Allah's plan, unseen yet perfectly timed.
The child grew strong, both in body and spirit, preparing for the responsibility Allah had destined for him.
As the child grew, his awareness of right and wrong became sharper with each passing day. Bibi Asiya ensured he learned kindness and patience, shaping his character carefully. Even at a young age, signs of divine guidance appeared, marking him for a special purpose. Pharaoh continued in his arrogance, unaware that this child was destined to challenge his oppression.
Allah's plan unfolded quietly, protecting the child while preparing him for his mission.
As he grew older, the child's strength and courage became evident to all who watched him. Bibi Asiya continued to nurture him, guiding him with wisdom and compassion. The child began to show signs of leadership, drawing attention from those around him. Pharaoh remained arrogant, oblivious to the divine plan unfolding before him. Allah's protection continued, ensuring the child would safely fulfill his destined role.
Musa grew up under the care of Bibi Asiya, strong in faith and guided by Allah's wisdom.
As he reached maturity, Musa's strength, courage, and sense of justice became apparent to everyone around him. Witnessing the oppression of his people,
Musa's heart filled with compassion and a desire to guide them rightly.
Allah called Musa to prophethood, granting him wisdom and signs to confront Pharaoh's arrogance.
Thus began the struggle between Musa and Pharaoh, as Allah empowered him to lead his people to freedom. Musa, empowered by Allah, began to speak to Pharaoh, calling him to justice and truth. Pharaoh ignored the warnings and continued in arrogance, refusing to free the Israelites. Allah granted Musa clear signs and miracles to show his power and truth to Pharaoh. Despite witnessing these signs, Pharaoh's arrogance persisted, and he defied Allah's commands. The conflict between Musa and Pharaoh's tyranny set the stage for Allah's plan to deliver the Israelites.
Musa repeatedly called Pharaoh to obey Allah and release the Israelites from slavery.
Pharaoh mocked and rejected these calls, his arrogance growing stronger with each warning.
Allah gave Musa miracles as clear signs, showing Pharaoh the power of the one true God.
Despite witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh's pride and defiance did not lessen. This struggle marked the beginning of the confrontation that would lead to the Israelites' liberation. Musa, strengthened by Allah, prepared to confront Pharaoh with patience and wisdom. Pharaoh's arrogance blinded him to the truth, and he continued oppressing the Israelites. Allah granted Musa miracles, demonstrating his power and reinforcing the truth of his message. Even with these signs, Pharaoh's pride and stubbornness persisted, ignoring Allah's commands.
The conflict between Musa and Pharaoh set the stage for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ultimate plan to free the Israelites. Musa, guided by Allah, continued to call Pharaoh to justice with patience and firmness.
Pharaoh mocked and refused to listen, his arrogance growing stronger with each warning.
Allah showed clear signs through Musa, demonstrating his power and confirming Musa's mission.
Pharaoh's pride and stubbornness continued, ignoring the clear guidance and miracles. The stage was set for Allah's plan to deliver the Israelites from oppression.
Musa's message continued, reminding Pharaoh of Allah's power and the importance of justice.
Pharaoh dismissed these warnings, blinded by pride and stubbornness. Allah granted Musa miracles to show the truth of his mission and warn Pharaoh. Despite seeing these signs, Pharaoh's arrogance persisted, and he continued oppressing the Israelites. Allah's plan was unfolding perfectly, preparing the Israelites for freedom and Musa for his mission. Musa continued to speak with courage, reminding Pharaoh of Allah's commands and mercy. Pharaoh ignored these messages, hardened by arrogance and power. Allah performed miracles through Musa, showing his power and guiding his servant.
Pharaoh's stubbornness continued, and he refused to release the Israelites despite the signs.
This ongoing struggle set the stage for Allah's plan to free the Israelites through Musa's leadership.
Musa, guided by Allah, remained patient and steadfast in delivering the message of truth. Pharaoh's arrogance continued, and he refused to acknowledge Allah's power.
Allah empowered Musa with clear signs, demonstrating the truth of his message.
Despite witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh continued his oppression of the Israelites.
This struggle marked the beginning of Allah's plan to liberate the Israelites through Musa's leadership.
Musa continued to call Pharaoh to justice, speaking with wisdom and patience. But Pharaoh remained arrogant, ignoring the signs and continuing his oppression. Allah performed miracles through Musa, showing his power to Pharaoh and the people. Despite these signs, Pharaoh's pride persisted, refusing to release the Israelites.
This ongoing struggle prepared the way for Allah's plan to free the Israelites through Musa.
Musa, strengthened by Allah, continued to guide the Israelites with wisdom and patience. Pharaoh's arrogance remained, and he refuted to acknowledge Allah's commands. Allah empowered Musa with clear miracles, confirming his prophethood and the truth of his message. Even after seeing these signs, Pharaoh's stubbornness persisted, oppressing the Israelites further.
This struggle between Musa and Pharaoh paved the way for Allah's plan to deliver the Israelites from slavery.
Musa continued to speak boldly, reminding Pharaoh of Allah's commands and mercy. Pharaoh mocked the warnings and persisted in his tyranny, ignoring Allah's signs. Allah empowered Musa with miracles, demonstrating his power and confirming the truth of his message. Even after seeing these miracles, Pharaoh remained stubborn, refusing to free the Israelites.
This confrontation marked the beginning of Allah's plan to liberate the Israelites through Musa.
Musa, guided by Allah, continued to remind Pharaoh of justice and mercy. Pharaoh's arrogance remained, and he refused to heed the signs and warnings. Allah performed miracles through Musa, showing his power to Pharaoh and the people. Despite these signs, Pharaoh's pride persisted, refusing to release the Israelites.
This ongoing struggle set the stage for Allah's plan to deliver the Israelites through Musa's leadership.
Musa, with Allah's guidance, stood firm, reminding Pharaoh of the consequences of arrogance. Pharaoh ignored these warnings, blinded by pride and worldly power. Allah empowered Musa with miracles, proving the truth of his prophethood and message. Even after seeing these miracles, Pharaoh persisted in oppressing the Israelites.
This confrontation prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan and Musa's leadership in guiding them to freedom.
Musa remained steadfast, delivering Allah's message with patience and clarity.
Pharaoh's arrogance blinded him to the truth, and he continued oppressing the Israelites. Allah granted Musa clear signs and miracles, confirming his prophethood. Despite witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh remained stubborn and refused to free the Israelites. This struggle prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan, as Musa led them toward liberation.
Musa, guided by Allah, reminded Pharaoh that power belongs only to Allah and justice must prevail.
Pharaoh ignored the warnings, continuing in his arrogance and oppression. Allah granted Musa clear signs and miracles, proving the truth of his prophethood. Despite witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh's pride and defiance remained. This confrontation set the stage for Allah's plan to free the Israelites under Musa's leadership.
Musa continued to remind Pharaoh of Allah's commands, speaking with patience and authority.
Pharaoh remained arrogant, rejecting the signs and oppressing the Israelites. Allah granted Musa miracles, confirming his prophethood and showing his power. Even after witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh's pride persisted, refusing to free the Israelites.
This struggle prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan and Musa's leadership toward liberation.
Musa, guided by Allah, continued to speak with courage and patience to Pharaoh. Pharaoh's arrogance remained, ignoring the signs and continuing his oppression. Allah empowered Musa with miracles, confirming the truth of his prophethood.
Even after witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh continued to oppress the Israelites.
This ongoing confrontation set the stage for Allah's plan to deliver the Israelites under Musa's leadership.
Musa continued to call Pharaoh to obey Allah and act with justice.
Pharaoh's arrogance blinded him to the truth, and he persisted in his oppression.
Allah performed miracles through Musa, showing his power and confirming Musa's message.
Even after witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh's pride persisted, and he refused to free the Israelites.
This ongoing struggle prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan and Musa's leadership in guiding them to freedom.
Musa, guided by Allah, continued to speak boldly to Pharaoh, calling for justice. Pharaoh's arrogance persisted, and he refused to listen, continuing his oppression of the Israelites. Allah granted Musa miracles, demonstrating his power and confirming the truth of his message. Even after witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh remained stubborn and continued oppressing the Israelites.
This ongoing confrontation prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan as Musa led them toward liberation.
Musa, guided by Allah, remained patient and steadfast, calling Pharaoh to righteousness.
Pharaoh's arrogance continued, and he refused to acknowledge the signs of Allah. Allah performed miracles through Musa, proving his prophethood and showing his power. Despite witnessing these miracles, Pharaoh persisted in his arrogance and oppression. This ongoing struggle prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan, as Musa led them toward freedom.
Musa continued to deliver Allah's message with courage, calling Pharaoh to justice.
Pharaoh ignored the signs, blinded by arrogance and pride, continuing his oppression. Allah granted Musa miracles to confirm his prophethood and guide the people.
Even after witnessing these signs, Pharaoh continued in his defiance, oppressing the Israelites.
This confrontation set the stage for Allah's plan to free the Israelites under Musa's leadership.
Musa, guided by Allah, remained steadfast, calling Pharaoh to obey and act justly.
Pharaoh's arrogance persisted, ignoring Allah's clear signs and warnings. Allah empowered Musa with miracles, confirming his prophethood and message. Despite witnessing these signs, Pharaoh remained stubborn, refusing to release the Israelites.
This struggle prepared the Israelites for Allah's plan, as Musa led them toward liberation.
Musa continued to guide the Israelites, teaching them patience, faith, and trust in Allah.
Pharaoh's arrogance led to his downfall, as he refused to follow Allah's commands.
Allah's plan unfolded, and the Israelites prepared for liberation under Musa's leadership.
Musa's mission continued, bringing guidance, hope, and deliverance to his people. This marked the fulfillment of Allah's promise, as Musa led the Israelites from oppression to freedom.